everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Practice Pulse podcast. And today I have the pleasure of speaking to my really good friend, Dr. Sara Mahmood. Hi, Sarah. How are you this afternoon?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Sarah, I am going to get right into it.
Let's do it.
You opened your first practice at 27.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Today, you have 6 locations, 3 kids, and a career that has put you on stages around the world. Girl, you're an inspiration.
Well, thank you.
What did that 27-year-old version of you have completely wrong about what success was going to look like?
Oh my God. Aditi, if you could be a fly on the wall in my mind when I was 27, I thought I would have 100 practices in about 3 to 4 years tops, really naive. I think that's probably one of my strengths is that I don't fully assess a situation before I sign up and just go for it. And that seems to still be a part of my life. I'm doing the New York City Marathon on November 1st. And everyone keeps telling me, they keep acting like, oh, that's a really big deal. And I'm like, is it? I'm training, but it's one of those things where I always just sign up for things and like let it just slap me in the face because that's how you learn and that's how you get better. So I think back then I thought it was going to be so much easier than it ended up being. But what I've learned along the way is that the journey is the joy. And that's the whole point, is what it does to shape you and you make you who you are. And so back then I really thought it was just going to be this straightforward path, and any entrepreneur probably would have laughed in my face about it. But I was open to taking the risk and trying. And I think it made all the difference.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Truly so inspirational to say that you literally go head first and you are not afraid to say yes to even the hard things. That is a true leader. I think a true entrepreneur is not always having all the answers, right? Is sometimes just trusting in the journey, trusting in yourself, and saying that, you know what, I will figure this out as I go. And sometimes it's really about sitting with that feeling that we are going to be able to trust ourselves through this journey and not go through analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's so funny that people won't even, I mean, you take risks, you take calculated risks, of course. In dentistry, we take risks every day, right? If that margin, when you're doing a prep, right? Whether it's going to, how far away it's going to be from reaching the biologic width or not. We're not going to get into that, but that's a literally everyday. Yes, it's a literal everyday decision. And it's funny when you get associates, and when you have associates in your practice and you start to work with other practitioners and you really start to see what is that mindset? What is that drive? What is holding them back sometimes from taking that leap of doing that procedure, right?
Okay. I mean, I feel like my sister the other day was talking to me and I gave her a response and she was like, everything from you is just a motivational speech these days. And so I don't mean to be that person, but I am that person. That's like, the only thing standing in your way is you. There's nothing else, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. And there's this space that's there when you're faced with a decision that scares you. And so often people validate the fear. And for me, I've gotten really intentional about recognizing when I'm in that space. So my husband just recently was like, hey, I have an opportunity for you to run the New York City Marathon on your birthday. Are you in? And I didn't respond to the email for 24 hours. And normally if you send me an email, I respond within 24 seconds. And so I was like, I'm really scared. I'm not a runner. I don't run, like I like walking at an incline and with my laptop out, and I call that a workout, but I recognized I was in that space of fear. And then I responded with 3 letters, LFG, let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? Nobody dies. I mean, people might die, no disrespect, but I probably won't, the odds are in my favor. And so, it's just one of those things where I feel like the more intentional you can get about recognizing when you're facing that decision and you have a choice, the better you are at doing the thing that can change your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To our guests who are tuning in right now, we are talking, or I am talking with Dr. Sara Mahmood, who is the founder of Brush 365, which is a 6 location dental group in Dallas Fort Worth. And she is a Master Academy of General Dentistry. She is an international speaker and a clinical partner and advisor to some of the biggest names in dentistry, including Philips Oral Healthcare, and someone who's really passionate about helping other dentists find their voice. Tell me a little bit about that.
I think the more I've been exposed to my colleagues, the more I see that fear that we were just talking about, and I feel a personal calling to just share a different perspective. You know, Aditi, as you get older and you continue to surround yourself with people that are just like you it's hard to get out of that bubble. And so for me, I just feel like I can be that voice that maybe they don't have in their lives. I even, joke that your spouse is so validating to you that people end up just leaning into the traits in them that maybe aren't the best because their spouse doesn't want to say that they're not, and you just end up becoming this version of yourself that isn't tapping into your full potential. And so for me, just recently I got to speak to a group at the Glidewell campus, the Guiding Leaders program, about my speaking journey. And it really was like just this audience full of people that were soaking in the things I had to say because they had never met someone who had been on this path before. And I talked about fair market value, what to expect from contracts, how to prepare for these things, how it gets into your psyche, and how if you want more speaking engagements, you have to put yourself out there. No one's just going to come knocking on your door with these opportunities. So all that to say is, I just feel like I can be that person for so many people that want to tap into their potential. And I take that as a personal responsibility.
That's great. That's really awesome that you do that, because there are many dentists like us who have a voice. And as you say, they just don't know how to use it. And they are not sure what avenues to take or who to go with or who can help them. Even simple things as to find a speaker coach. There's, again, so much analysis paralysis. We start to look at one thing or one person, and then you see, oh, there's 10. And then you're like, oh boy, I don't know which one would be the right fit, instead of saying, okay, you know what, let's just go with, I don't know, pick number 3 and see how it goes, right? And
I think that's why you and I vibe so much, because I've got that energy from you right from the start. I still remember the first day that we met, you were on a panel at the Dental Nacho Super Dentist Boost Camp, and you talked about a story of being like a working badass mom and how, you don't let yourself carry that guilt. It just is what it is, And so I totally relate to that, in that we have to claim our power, and we can't be those people. I almost am sick of hearing this talk around imposter syndrome. I don't have imposter syndrome because I know I'm the shit, like you can't you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Don't let it feel like it's being egotistical or arrogant. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? You have to. And I just totally got that energy from you within like a minute of meeting.
No, I mean, self-advocacy is a thing, right? And I think in all our growing up, we go through so many different challenges, both as dentists, as wives, as moms, that we have to understand that when are you going to release that guilt, right? When are you going to release that guilt? Are you going to take it with you? No, there's no point.
When are you going to recognize that you have that choice, right?
Exactly.
That you own that feeling. You can either feel it or you can work through not feeling it. It's a choice.
It is a choice. It is a choice. And I think it's very important for dentists and our colleagues to understand that it really, really is a choice. And how you are being, I was talking about this to somebody else. We were talking about burnout and dentistry. And, I still practice. And I still practice 2 to 3 times a week. And the gentleman was asking me, how do you still, why do you do that? And you have PBN. And I said, yeah, I have PBN, but I also love dentistry. And I guess I love teeth. And when you have people and you have teams and you have systems that support what you're doing, and you love what you do, then doing the dentistry is easy.
Yeah.
I find that part relaxing. Honestly, when I go into the office, I'm like, ooh, this is my chill day. I
Yeah.
don't have to think about it. The patients and I have a great, rapport. And it's been such an incredible journey. And I want to be able to tell other dentists that they can have this too. They just need to be able to build their teams and systems around them to enable them to have the practices that they want, which also means having boundaries, whether it's with patients, your spouse, your kids, or your staff. I mean, it's you can definitely build your dream world,
Yeah.
but the key word is building it.
I still practice 2 to 3 days a week as well. And it's one of those things where it's how you frame it, right? If you frame it in a positive light, it will feel positive. If you're like, oh, I can't believe I got to go see patients when I have payroll and I have all these things to do, then of course it's going to feel negative. There's this fable where, this man had an anger problem, and he was a very wealthy man, and he hired someone to just make him angry all day. And so he could work on this issue that he had. And I think the same goes for mental resilience. I think when you frame challenges as a way to get stronger and to build more resilience, it feels like something you welcome, right? Now, when something feels challenging or hard, I don't shy away from it because I'm like, great. Like, I want to come out stronger on the other side. I want to unlock this next level of myself. And that's why I also think I have issue with this idea of burnout. I'm like, for me, I feel like when I'm getting to a point where things feel overwhelming, number one, I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed again. That's a good thing because I'm getting stronger. I'm going to be better for this. Like, I'm going to navigate this. If my track record is anything, it proves that I always get through situations on the other side unscathed. Well, alive, I should say. Maybe not unscathed. Alive.
You learn a little bit, right, from every interaction.
Scars and bruises. And
yes, we definitely have that.
Yeah, but and I talked about this at the Super Dentist Boost Camp. It's the pain cave. You're going into a season or chapter or a small period of your life where you're going to be pushed, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna break, but then you don't. And that's how you know that you're capable of amazing things. And so again, when I hear burnout, I think it's just validating giving up. And I'm just not a fan of that. I think you can pivot, you can change course, definitely evolve as your life ebbs and flows and the waves happen. But for me, I don't want to lose sight of my potential and what I've always dreamed for my life because things got hard.
Yeah, and that's important. I think keeping that first and foremost, front and center. That what is it that you want? Why did you come into this profession in the first place? You want to be that dentist. You dreamt of freaking doing teeth all your life. Yes. Well, you're finally here. So don't let the environment, don't let the not having systems and simple things drown you out, right? Drown the reason that you decided to be in this profession in the first place. It's a great profession. It has given me so much. I mean, it has given you so much. And I think we have to fight to keep people going and moving, not the patients, but us as professionals in this profession, and I think I feel that responsibility.
I totally agree. I mean, there's so many things to be thankful for having a DDS or a DMD behind your name. And if you just get caught up in like the filling that maybe didn't go the way that you wanted, or, the extraction that had to get referred to an oral surgeon, you forget that you should zoom out. Like there are bad days in every career, but resoundingly the good outweighs the bad in what we've been able to do with our degrees. I totally believe that.
Absolutely. And it's really important to remind ourselves that, I think, every day, because every day there's going to be some challenge or the other. That's the meaning of running a business. It's going to be challenging. Don't own a business if you don't want to be challenged.
Yeah, if you don't want to be a better version of yourself. It's the biggest self-help program, I think, is becoming an entrepreneur, because you learn things about yourself, you manage situations, and you grow from it in a way that you couldn't do in any other way.
Absolutely. 100%. How did you go from being a dentist with ambition to actually building something with where you could lead people and truly be able to build a very unique practice
Yeah.
that you have. Talk about that.
Well, I think, my story goes back to watching my own parents navigate the challenges of finding healthcare providers as first generation Americans. My mom came home distraught one day because she had a tooth extracted and she didn't understand why. And by distraught, I mean, if you know my mom, like that's a very lightly way of saying that she was just really unhappy. And so I was maybe 12 or 13 at the time, and I could see that there was definitely a need to build more transparency and honesty and communication within the industry. My parents were always like, dentists are scam artists, but they were so adamant that they wanted me to be one. So it put me in this very like weird, twisted, like, wait, you want me to be a scam art? Like, what do you like, but you should be one. Like, they make good money, they don't work the weekends, And
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, well, now I feel like this personal calling to address this issue head on. And so it was in dental school that I decided I wanted my tagline and promise to be dentistry with integrity. And we've been writing that tagline and promise for a decade now. And it's kind of been the cheat code for me, because you usually don't have people apply to work in your company when your, central focus is integrity. You don't get like the shady people, the dentists that apply, or like, I've been in places before that didn't have integrity. I really want to be in a place that does. And so we've had the best luck at finding great team members, which has been awesome, but also really great patients. And it's kept us honest, right? It's held me to that standard throughout. Your question was, how do you go to building something? I think reverse engineering your life is really important, and getting clear about what you want to some degree. And then just going for it. There's never a perfect time. I remember when we had a kid, we were hanging out with this couple, and they were like, we're not going to try to have kids until we at least, get a house first. And then, my husband needs to get this promotion in his job, and then we should be in a good place to have our first kid. And me and my husband are just like, wow, we're not that way at all. Like, we were like 16-year-olds who accidentally got pregnant. Like, it's just one of those things, And then the second time around, people are like, do you know how babies are made? Like, you keep getting pregnant. And I'm like, it's just because we just go for it. I guess, like we got married a week after I opened my first practice, and then 6 months later he opened his. And I think that's just a mentality, but it's a learned mentality too. I think as long as you get clear about what you sort of want to do, and then don't stand in your way of making it happen, you can also achieve great things.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about taking that leap, right? It's a leap of faith in yourself, in your family, and being able to say, you know what, I can do this, and God will provide, right? In some shape, form, or way.
Exactly.
And really it does, and they do, in trusting your village, right? To help you really get where you want to go, because we can't get there alone. I know that for sure. I know you know that. We all need our support systems, whether it's in our practices or in our homes or with our families, with our kids. It really does take a village. For all those people tuning in again, I am sitting down with Dr. Sara Mahmood, who is the founder and CEO of Brush 365. She is a clinician, a mom, and more importantly, she is a true leader and entrepreneur, really helping dentists find their voice in and out of dentistry.
I do want to mention, I feel like it would be remiss to not mention my dad. He is the reason I believe in myself, because he's always believed in me, not in like a frou-frou way, but in a way like, there's no excuses. You can do these things because I know you can, right? Like it's not a matter of like, what's your personality type or what are you capable of? He always was like, you are capable of doing amazing things. And so I think that same energy translates to not only my audiences, but my team, my kids. I never want them to feel like they're not capable, and I want them to have that independence and belief in themselves. When I first opened my practice, I was listening to podcasts like crazy, and there's a podcast where I think it was Hidden Brain, I'm not sure, but it was leaders are not born, they're believed in. And so I fully embrace that. And I do that with everyone around me. I'm like, if someone believes in you, believe them. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful that I had that gift, and I want to give that gift to others who may not have had a presence like my dad. For me, maybe you grew up in a way that you didn't have people believe in you. Well, guess what? I do, because I know you can do it. There's no reason why you can't. Barack Obama talked about it too. You walk into these rooms where there's CEOs and world leaders. They're normal people.
Yep.
They're not like
Absolutely.
these exceptionally talented, exceptionally bright, exceptional IQ people. They're normal people who have one difference from other people is they believed in themselves and they pushed themselves to do the things that they wanted to do. And so just normalize it. You could do whatever you want. You don't have to be superhero. You could do it.
Absolutely. You do not need a cape. You
No.
honestly just need one person in your life believing in you, and then you taking that and giving it forward. It's so true. I completely resonate with you on that, because it was my dad who when I told him that I wanted to move continents and go and study dentistry in the US, it was he who said, yeah, okay, you can do this. And it was my dad when I said I wanted to open a startup with having no family members who've ever been. I was the first doctor in my entire family, and who nobody else in my family has any kind of business. And here I am saying I'm going to do a startup, and my dad was like, okay, yes, you can do this. And those dreams at 22 and 32, I think if he was not there to really, no hesitation, and without any hesitation to say, you know what, you got this, I got you. If something happens, I'm here to hold you, but go do this. And
Goosebumps. I have goosebumps. I love that.
right. So thank you to amazing dads that are, pushing us daughters to really more than break glass ceilings. I think raise the ceilings, because I don't think the ceiling is made of glass.
No, I've never believed that. I think there is no better time for a woman to shine. People want more women on boards. They want more women on stages. They want more women in leadership roles, but more women have to want it. You have to want it. Make it known that that's what you want, and you will have opportunities that you never dreamed of.
It is so true. It truly is, a journey of becoming who you want to be. And the best part is that you can curate it. I mean, I've been gone from being an associate to and I'm an immigrant. So I came here all by myself and have done this whole journey kind of all by myself. This and coming to where I am now with my role at PBN, and going into these rooms with the CEOs of these big companies, and having that strength and that confidence within myself to have those conversations that, firstly, I do belong, and secondly, I do have some of the answers, and thirdly, they're human too. So
I love your confidence. I'm inspired. I want to be softer with my confidence like you. I feel like my confidence is very aggressive, but your confidence is very nice. And I love it. I feel like I could probably learn a thing or two from how you.
No, that's what you bring is who you are. And, it's all a little, we are so good at who we are. And I think it's very important for each of us to own who we are and bring that, because maybe today's generation needs a little bit of that aggressive confidence. Maybe the soft confidence is not what they
There's
need.
room for all of it, right?
The recipe needs to be changed a little bit, over the years. The ingredients stay the same, but you change things a little bit around and the flavors change. So that's the best thing. It's so true for Indian cooking. So I will say that to change and tweak the flavors, you just have to be who you are and bring it out, your authentic self. And I know, and you're right, this is the time for women in leadership, and to really move forward in what they want to talk about, in what they want to express, and also in what they're carrying. We have walked the walk for so many decades, but we have not talked the talk.
I agree. I think it's time to make our voices heard, for sure. I'm all in favor of that.
Yeah. No, this is incredible. Again, to our listeners out there, I'm sitting down with Dr. Sara Mahmood. She is so incredible in what she's building. And I have truly enjoyed every interaction that
Oh,
I have had with her over the few years that we've known each other. And more than anything, it's been the fact that I can openly speak, without any judgment about my challenges, and where, she totally understands where I'm coming from, and I totally understand where she's coming from and what she's building. And it's really important, I think, these days for us to have support systems within each other, within not just in dentistry, but outside of dentistry, and also, push each other forward. And to me, that is the most important thing.
I agree. It's finding your people, your community that you can, just get that level of love and support from unconditionally. And so I'm grateful for our friendship, Aditi. I feel the same way about you. I echo all of those same sentiments. It's been a joy getting to know you and to build this friendship.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask one quick question. Where, tell me about a setback that you had that really had made you go within and say, okay, I need to change this to move forward.
Yeah.
One, I know there's probably been plenty.
I mean, the most impactful, pivotal moment for me happened in May of 2022. My husband and I threw this great 5-year anniversary party in Antigua, Guatemala. We had like 75 friends fly down. We had such a great time. And then I came back. I had just opened my third practice a couple of months prior. And I realized that I may not make payroll. I had overextended myself. I did not have cash reserves. And on that, I still remember it was a Tuesday, we had to make a decision to almost let half of our workforce go. And it was such a heavy day for me. I remember just like being in my office all day. I don't know if I cried, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was all I thought about. I couldn't do anything else but think about how I'm a steward and I am letting people down by not bringing my best self forward. So I made the decision on May 22nd of 2022, 21st of 2022, to completely stop drinking alcohol. It was one of those things that I realized I was doing more than socially. It was one of those things I would celebrate, I would do when I was upset, I would do if I was having a neutral day. It was just one of those things that I was turning to. And I was like, you know what, if this is even a little bit standing in the way of my potential, or if this had anything to contribute to my inability to run this company properly, I want to just see what life is like without it. And then 1 week turned into, 1 month turned into, now almost 5 years. And I think that setback really took me within. It really took me within. And it's like, it made me realize that we have the tools and the resources and the ability to make decisions that really make an impact on the people around us. And I want to leverage those the best I possibly can. I don't want to stand in the way of my own potential. And then that unlocked a whole new chapter in mine and my husband's life about longevity and health. And by no means do I want this to become a preachy thing. Every person has to make the best decision for themselves. But for us, we realize that we can't be the best entrepreneurs, executives, parents, spouses to each other if we have like this toxic thing in our life that's holding, and many toxic things that we were holding on to. And so I think that's like the thing that comes, and there's always setbacks. I have setbacks every day. I have setbacks every week.
I mean, of course, that's why I said there we have gazillion setbacks, but what is the one that made you go thin, right?
That's the most formative one. And I was 31 or 32 at the time. And I remember a few weeks later, I got an email from the Dallas Business Journal that I had won the 40 under 40 award. And I was like,
oh, wow,
they must not know. Nobody tell them.
That's hilarious. You're like, oh, they don't know my dirty little secret. That's hilarious.
Are not like, this person is a fraud. But it was truly one of those things that kept me going and made me realize that like every day you're still open and you're still fighting the good fight, you're succeeding.
Yeah. Agreed. So one more, where you're sitting at, right? I know that there are a lot of newer grads out there weighing associateship versus ownership in dentistry. What are your thoughts, and what does it look like to you? And share some insights, because I know you opened your first practice really early. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
So much has changed even since I first opened in 2017. Just starting a practice now, I hear the loans are over $1 million. And when I first opened, that was just simply not the case. It was way less than that, way less than that. And then people are coming out with all of this debt. And so I see why people are drawn to associates. You know, the market is consolidating. A lot of our, our DSOs are offering really competitive packages in terms of like PTO and healthcare and all these things that, are really not so common when you first open your own practice. And, or I guess never, I don't take PTO, like we don't, what is that? It's like, and
Agreed.
I see merit in why people would want to stay on the path of an associate, but I would encourage them to still operate like a leader. If you choose to be an associate, that is a commendable, respectable thing, but recognize that if your owner is asking you to call new patients, I saw this on one of the forums the other day where it was like, my owner doc wants me to call new patients before, and people were just like slamming it, like how dare they ask you to do that? Well, guess what? If you build rapport with your patients, they're more likely to do treatment with you, and then you benefit from it. And so it's not just this thing that it's not just self-serving. I want my associates to succeed. And so I would just encourage, if you are on that path or if you're in that journey right now, treat it like a leader. Be a leader in your own realm. Take ownership of your production, your collections, how your team operates, and don't get into this like toxic mindset of like, I can't believe I'm having to do all these extra things when I'm not the owner. It's like, but you own your life. You own your outcomes, you own, your experience. If your team is more efficient because you were able to contribute to that efficiency, everyone wins, know? And so I just think, but if you decide to become an owner, I think just recognize that it's supposed to be hard. The first few years are supposed to be tough. You're going to question why you ever did it, but that's the point. That's the point. You're building yourself, and it's not necessarily just for higher income, although that is a lot of the reason that drives people that go into ownership. I think you should focus equally, if not more so, on the development of self that comes from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is very, very important these days to understand that, even though ownership is challenging, but you come out at the other end, a different person, and you should be ready for that, to be honest, to meet yourself in the raw, real way that you probably have never met yourself.
Exactly. Brace yourself. It's a ride for sure.
It sure is. It is a roller coaster. And when you're on it, you're on it. And you're on it. There's no jumping off this roller coaster. Not stop.
I know.
It's a loop, baby, and you're in it. So, there's a lot of help and a lot of belts that you can wear, and a lot of people that are willing to help. And especially nowadays, all the new practitioners and practice owners, there are so many resources, whether it's podcasts, whether it's videos, whether it's, courses or AI.
Everything feels possible now because of AI.
Exactly. Everything is possible. So, I didn't have that in 2010 when I opened my first practice.
I look at the SOPs that I wrote from my brain, not from like Claude. And I'm like, I'm a genius. Like, got a prompt.
I know that is so true. The things, one of my assistants the other day was like, oh, I found this thing from 2012, and I love it that she called it a thing. And I was like, and she was like, this is an SOP manual, and it's handwritten. And I was like, geez.
We bootstrapped it. We got it done. Okay. Before you could just like put in like a quick little sentence into ChatGPT.
Yeah. She was like, "What do you want me to do with this?" I said, "Really?"
The museum.
Yeah. It's so funny. Well, this was such an amazing conversation, and I really, really always enjoy our talks. They're always so heartening and enlightening, and I feel like we are, moving forward always, pushing forward, which to me has been incredible. And so I really appreciate your time. If people want to reach out and learn more about what you're doing and how to get a hold of you, do you have a way that we can reach out?
So my social media team manages most of my profiles. I still hold on to my LinkedIn, so send me a message on there. You could try to DM me. I check those periodically. I'm Sara the Dentist on Instagram, and then I have a website, sarathedentist.com. But just be patient with me. I don't mean to ignore anyone. I will get to you as soon as I have like the mental capacity to do it. But definitely reach out, and if I can be a resource, I'm happy to do so.
Absolutely. So everybody out there, you can do this. Sara the dentist is here to help you, and I'm here to help you understand where you are needing help, because we are, both been in this industry for a long time, and both of us have built our own businesses in our own ways, and we have honestly been through it all.
I hope
And
so.
I'm sure there's more,
I was
but
gonna say, that'd be great.
I mean, AI hit us with a this year with a big bang, but I know there's always more coming. But try to stay, forward looking, forward thinking, and so if we can help in any shape, form, or way, feel free to reach out to Sara or myself. And I am available on LinkedIn, or even on the social media platforms. So uh, till next time, we
Thanks.
will catch you later.
Thanks, Aditi.
You're welcome.